the revival.
Let's get ill, that's the deal. At the gate, we'll bring the bug dot drill. Lose your mind, this is the time. Your can't stand still, just bang your spine.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kayfabe Today podcast. The podcast that will never, ever, ever take a knee. Well, unless the Canadian National Anthem starts playing. I'm your host. My name is Erik. You can follow me on Twitter at MTLBroski, and I'm here with, again, for the second week in a row, full cast. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden we all got our shit together. I'm here with Travis from the FTitM channel. Travis, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. As usual, standing in traffic, stopping cars and trucks. Everything is good. So fuck the Young Bucks. I'm back. Thanks. It's good to hear you guys again. What's going on?
You had a good week?
Good week, man. Good week. And as always, follow me on Twitter at the HibikTMD. Check out the channel, HibikTMD Slam Pigs Podcast. The reset button, which, buddy, you came on the other day spontaneously live. It was good to have you back. I had our guitars out. It was a good time.
It was a good time. Tannen playing guitar is something that I fully can get behind. It was a good time, as usual. And I love that I came into your podcast and then just started ranting like a lunatic. I apologize again about that, but it was a good time. You were very, very welcoming of my lunacy. Thank you very much. I'm also here, the top worker of Kayfabe today. I forgot what his awesome nickname was last week, so I'm just going to let him tell you what it was. Drew Ortman is here with us. What was your nickname last week?
Sexual Napalm.
Sexual Napalm. Drew Ortman is here with us today on the podcast. How you doing, Drew?
Enough said. No, I'm doing good. I'm fantastic.
Did you have a good
happy
week?
To be on here again. Yeah.
Well, we're happy that you're here again. Have the whole family here together, and what family wouldn't be complete without the little young annoying one? My son, or apparently he tried to make me believe that he got some DNA work done and that I'm not his official father, but that's a filthy bloody lie. Just ask his mom. Robbie Radford. Hello, Robbie. How are you today?
Hello, father.
Hello, son.
Hi, people.
That was probably one of the best intros we've ever done. Lots to talk about this week, boys. Lots to talk about. I think we're going to start with, there was an invasion this week. A little invasion from our friends over, well, Robbie's friends, over at the Bullet Club. Not terribly original. What a shock. The Young Bucks are doing something that WWE did in the 90s. Shocking. But Robbie, to give us a little context, since you watch their super gay YouTube channel, which isn't as good as this YouTube channel. It's probably better. But yeah, you watch, what is it called? Being the Elite, is that what it's called? The show? Okay. Well, Robbie watches it, so he follows the Young Bucks because he loves the Young Bucks. He's a poor misguided child, but I wasn't there for his developing stages, so you can't blame him too much. But Robbie, put it all into context for us. Let us know what the 411 on this invasion was.
Okay, so the basic background is...
So anyway, we're going to move on now. I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
Very heated situation. So essentially, the Being the Elite series, it started out as like a documentation of just Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, and Kenny Omega, known as the Elite. They're just kind of like, it was like what they do on the road. Like most of the time, it was just them at Cracker Barrel and hanging out with friends and family. And then it kind of like evolved into a story. And along the way, they kicked out Adam Cole on the way and signed up Marty Scurll. And the recent one was Adam Page, who's also known as Hangman Page, was kidnapped. And I didn't know who, but they gave away that it was the WWE because in a really funny way, I'll give it to them. They made Adam Cole, sorry, not Adam Cole. They made Adam Page watch 205 live, which was said to have been a really traumatic experience. So
I can't disagree with them there.
They decided to stage an invasion at the WWE show to get Cody Rhodes' name to get Cody's last name back, to get Marty Scurll's umbrella back.
Is he really not allowed to use the umbrella?
I don't know, but it's weird because I think he's been using the umbrella longer than Jack Gallagher has.
Yeah, I think that's more or less just like a gimmick joke.
Okay.
I don't think they actually got. Yeah, they didn't get cease and desist.
Because I was going to be like, I don't really think you can copyright carrying an umbrella.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not
they
yet,
they
anyway.
keep pissing them off. I'm sure it's coming.
Because they didn't actually get cease and desisted over the fuck the revival. I can't remember what the other one was. But they also, part of invasion agenda was to free Styles, Balor, and the rest of the club. And
Balor in the club, I can understand. AJ,
Styles would
I think
probably
AJ's fine.
A better place now.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of them would have been like, "Oh fuck it, we're going home, lads."
that I would have totally been like, yeah, okay, I understand. Especially the club, I would have been like, yeah, you were probably better off in Japan. Let's be honest.
It's probably like the 12 Years a Slave scene when they're running through the field where everyone chasing them with the pitchforks and shit.
Jesus Christ.
Like Gallows and Anderson running through the WWE fucking Titan Towers fields.
And then 6 months later, Vince would be in a creative meeting and he'd be like, "Where'd Festus go?"
Yeah, no. So it was a weird day because I remember looking at the pictures and thinking, "Oh, I'm not fucking doing it." But like, they were being egged on by other independent, like high-profile independent wrestlers, and I remember thinking, I just thought shit's gonna roll downhill here because I felt like this might have a pretty big impact on the rest of the independent scene. But I don't know. A couple of things have happened because of this, and I guess, guys, that you've seen it. Yep. They've actually, well, they weren't sent a C&D. They were sent a very strongly worded letter.
Oh.
The most white thing you could possibly do.
Yeah. But apparently, one of my favorite things was Meltzer expected that Vince McMahon would have a sense of humor about it and was shocked to hear that he didn't.
Really? He's shocked that Vince McMahon didn't think it was funny? Okay.
Vince McMahon's all about having a sense of humor when it makes him look cool. And it made the WWE look like WCW uncool back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. For a very small portion of the internet.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the Bullet Club, but this wrestling needs edgy shit like this again, where you just blur the lines.
Is it edgy though? Is it edgy? I just thought it was lame.
I don't think it's edgy, but I think it's a pretty ballsy move for a group of independent guys.
Let me say ballsy.
Yeah, I could agree that it's ballsy, but at the same time, it just kind of magnifies my problem with the Young Bucks, is that they don't have an original bone in their body. They're just and I'm so tired of hearing, well, wrestlers borrow from each other all the time. This is more than borrowing. This is basically wishing you were in DX like 20 years after DX was relevant. Okay, maybe not.
I've stayed out of all of it on social media because I'll just go. It's like a fucking carousel back.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I see this and I'm like, you shouldn't say anything, and then and all of a sudden my fingers start moving.
Well, then they love to go to the standard line now. Well, Scott Hall gave it his blessing. Well, that's fucking great. Scott Hall gave it his blessing. You know what I mean? Sammy Sosa gave me his blessing to use the Cubs logo, but does Sammy Sosa own the Cubs?
Wait, did Sammy Sosa?
But there's
really
also, there's this funny shit coming out where WWE had this thing in 2015 where they don't technically own the Too Sweet thing, Robbie, or something you were saying to us earlier.
Yeah,
they actually tried to file for it and it didn't go through.
Yeah, so my understanding was they filed for it because there's many reasons why they filed for it, but they didn't actually get it because it failed on grounds of likelihood of confusion.
Well, there was I think it's the Longhorns. I think it's a football team. Yeah, it's a football team, right? And I think that's their hand gesture too. Well, maybe not the Too Sweet, maybe just more like the the metal.
Lots of metal. Yeah, like you said, metal stuff, stuff like that.
Because Gene Simmons actually filed for a similar hand gesture, which he actually won, I believe. And the Texas Longhorn was used quite notably by Stan Hansen as well. And I believe the NC State actually print the I don't want to call it the two-seat swimble, but they actually print that on the merchandise. And as well as it was used in the Turkish paramilitary groups in Turkey, which is called the Turkish Wolf. So I mean that was used a long time before WCW used it. But and the weird thing is, I don't know why they'd use it on the basis of a wrestler gave me the blessing to use it, especially when said group was inspired by something elsewhere, which is probably inspired by something elsewhere, which is probably I think it's a really petty thing, but I also laughed. I also had to giggle to myself when Rick and Morty sent a cease and desist to the Young Bucks as well.
Did they
the
really?
Creators of Rick. Yeah, because they really infringed a T-shirt design
So basically, the Young Bucks are an amalgamation of other people's success.
They've pissed a lot of people off this week.
Oh, God, I hate them so much. They are so and the thing is like they're a decent tag team, but they're not as good as everybody on the internet says they are. I'm sorry. If your thing is a super kick, and every time you do a super kick, you can see clear as day that you're slapping your thigh, and I don't care that the business is exposed. At least try. At least
was there a legal dispute between Jay-Z and DDP back in the day over the diamond?
That's what somebody. I don't remember who said that. Somebody told me that today, but I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Because I'm at the point now, like, I don't know about you guys, where I take a step back and be like, where are we now? We're over hand gestures. That's how petty pro wrestling is.
I think it's
That's
really
how petty entertainment business is.
I think it's because, honestly, WWE's side on this, I think it's because they're not as successful as they were before. If this would have been something that would have happened in the 90s, I think it would have gone relatively unnoticed.
Pure fucking unadulterated spite right now doesn't help. This really poked the bear. I feel like this was business-wise good decision. No, because they've held this over their head for years. They could have pulled the trigger and tried to do shit like this anytime. They haven't. I don't know.
Yeah, the annoying thing is as well, and I know it doesn't mean much, is that the Bullet Club have been too sweet for years.
Yeah.
2012.
I mean,
it started?
Yeah, I think they formed in. I think they formed in 2011. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it was about that time. I just think it's just at the end of the day, I think it's really petty, especially the way they tried to. I think this is true. I posted it earlier. I think this is true. From the way I was reading it, it comes across as true. They kind of asked the club of Gallows, Anderson, and Styles and everything to use it more to sweep the fact that they didn't win the copyright case under the carpet and to kind of deter other companies and other wrestlers from using it. But I think in a way, and this might be one of the domino effects, is that it might like put off independent wrestlers from trying. I don't know, because it's not trying to be creative if you're stealing the too sweet. Not stealing the too sweet, but stealing stuff.
Stop trying to be the next NWO and be the first fucking Young Bucks. It's that simple.
Yeah.
The problem is as well is the Bullet Club. The Elite are hot. The Elite are hot shit right now. If you throw in Marty Scurll and Cody, maybe that 5 are like hot shit on the internet. But the Bullet Club itself.
Deny that though. I'm not going to deny Bullet Club. It's mad business. The problem is it's all lazy. All of it is just been piggybacking or calling yourself, hey, this is my gimmick, I'm a bad guy, which is what the villain club shit is. Like we said before, the best heels don't have to call themselves a villain. It's lazy. All that stuff. It's second-rate, fucking been there, done that. It's easy cash grabby. Let's parody video game sprites. I even complimented the SNES thing, but that's kind of lazy too because you're the sweet, I don't know, smart but more lazy than smart, I feel like. Because
the thing is I think that if it was a parody, it would be fine. If they didn't do it all the time and it seemed really, really serious, because if you look at the Bullet Club when they're too sweeting, it's not joking. It's very serious. It's like, we're the clique. This is like our thing. And like, but if it's look, I have a shirt on my Pro Wrestling Tees store that is a ripoff of a Bullet Club shirt, but because it's transformative, it falls under parody. So because somebody threw that at me. Oh, big talk coming from a guy who has a Bullet Club ripoff. Yes. I've never shied away. The one thing about the Bullet Club that I've always liked is their logo. The original logo, I like it. So I said, look, I'd like to have a different version of that for me. So that's what I did. Now, if I would have just taken the Bullet Club shirt and just put it up on my Pro Wrestling Tees store, it would never have made it up. And that's what my issue with the Young Bucks is that they don't have an original bone in their body. They constantly rip off shit that was popular before them. So I do think the hand gesture thing is petty. I agree with you on that, Robbie. I think it's very petty. I think it's very Vince McMahon.
Me too.
And I also think it's a reaction to poor ticket sales, to dropping profits, and to dropping revenue. They're in a situation here where they want to protect all their intellectual property, the hand gesture aside, but they want to protect all their intellectual property because every time that the Bullet Club sells merchandise or something like that, that's coming off the backs of the stuff that WWE did in the 90s, right? Because they're popular because they do the suck it. They're popular because they are too sweeting, right? And that's how like, cause like, look, people for some reason, making a little wolf type face with your hand is something that wrestling fans really love to do. You know, and the worst thing I've ever seen is people doing it in public. Like, no, don't do that. Like,
no,
I think it was you, Robbie, that you went to a show, right? And you saw people sweating in line, and even Robbie wanted to die.
Me, Mike, and Dan. Dan and Mike from Rock Bottom Radio. We stood outside York Hall, which is one of the most famous state.
Is that where Progress runs a lot of events, or is
no,
it
it's
Rev Pro? Yeah, okay. That's a nice venue. That's a nice venue. It was ahead of the greatest match I've ever seen in person, which was the Elite in the main event, and so because Kenny Omega. I remember that. Robbie sent me a video of him crying after the match.
I didn't cry, but I gave it the good old 5 snowflakes. But yeah, people were greeting each other outside. People have never met before. Were recognizing the fact that other people were wearing Bullet Club t-shirts, and they were just too sweet in each other, and then starting a conversation.
Somebody tried to do that when I went to a show in Montreal, and I just looked at him and I was like, no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. It's like, and also, I bet what kind of pisses Vince McMahon off is if you look at the NXT crowd, and it's creeping into the WWE crowd. Look how many independent wrestlers t-shirts are in that crowd. Like, not even necessarily just Bullet Club t-shirts, but you'll see like Los Ingobernables shirts. You'll see, I don't know, Squirrel shirts. You'll see Candice LeRae. Well, maybe not so much Candice LeRae now, but like that kind of stuff. And people buying like having Kevin Steen t-shirts. That's got to piss Vince McMahon off somehow, or somebody quite high up. Because it's people are like, I know it's 2017 and people like me personally, I watch WWE, but I don't like WWE as much as I used to do. Like, I will watch it every week because what's a wrestling week without watching the biggest wrestling company in the world, and it will always be the biggest promotion. But there's better stuff out.
Well,
but no, nothing's gonna like. This guy was telling me that Ring of Honor, if they...
Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm already rolling my eyes.
Okay, so, all right. So, on the back of Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view, which was okay. It was a good show.
Was that the one? I heard Cody had a really bad match. Or was that in Japan?
It's one of the worst main events I've ever seen.
Was that in Japan or was that here?
It was here. It was in Las Vegas.
Okay.
It was one of the most underwhelming main events I've ever seen. Minoru Suzuki came across for the first 2 American shows for the first time in 25 years.
Was that when he did it? He finished it with the label lock and then did the yes, yes, yes. Was it during that match?
Yeah, it was like, it felt almost like part angle, part match. And they ran overtime, and it was badly thrown together. And it took one crossroads to finish off Suzuki, and it was just over out of nowhere. It was weird.
Sounds like the main event of No Mercy.
On top, that was exactly it. Like, it was the night before, but like if it was the night after, you could argue it's like an onion skin just to take the piss out of it.
Oh, wow.
But this guy was telling me that if they re-signed Austin Aries, who he believed was one of the most underutilized wrestlers that the WWE have ever had, which I almost wanted to put a pencil up my nose and headbutt a wall.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but okay.
And if they re-signed Aries and they re-signed CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, that the Ring of Honor could really challenge WWE.
Okay.
And I literally turned around because I've had so many arguments this week with WWE fans that are like, the old school WWE fans that are like, look at all these fucking vanilla midgets, blah, 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 blah. But like not sarcastically, like seriously. Like, when you look at the NXT developmental, and you look at guys like Adam Cole and Hideo Itami, you called them both cruiserweights. I got so angry really quick.
Well, Robbie, not to back that guy up, but it's like I said to you in like our Twitter DMs. There's a lot of wrestlers where I'd rather fight them than fight you, and you're not a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's some guys I would rather take on the Young Bucks than fight you. I think I have a chance. Maybe it's just me being delusional. But maybe if I get a cheap shot in, I think I could beat them. I'm
Robbie,
not so
those
sure.
people
I
on
could
social
beat you.
media that you're talking about, they confuse the shit out of me because they're always like, "Well, he's not big enough." He'll like in their eyes, their promotion is just a big bunch of fucking punch kick matches with big guys. And I'm like, what? They don't even know what they want. And I like,
Yeah.
and they forget guys like Brett and Sean were smaller Neville type guys that carried the fucking for what it was. You know what I mean?
Oh God, Neville was such a star at the end of Raw this week. Fuck, I love that guy, man.
Lots of rumors on Neville. Actually,
Yeah, I know, and I'm very excited by them. Very excited.
It's weird
by them.
because, like, just thinking about it, the Young Bucks are like my height.
Are they?
You know?
How tall
Yeah.
are they?
Sorry.
If I was like 10 years younger, if I was your age, Robbie, I think I would actually like, because I see what they did. It doesn't hurt that every time there's a Bullet Club faction in any year over there, it's the most talented guys for the most part, with the most popular fucking stable of all time being ripped off on top of it. So I get the appeal, and the shirts are cool, like you said, broski.
Yeah,
I
the
get
shirts are
that.
cool.
Like, the thing is with the Bucks, and perhaps it extends to the Bullet Club, is, I mean, I was alive and kicking when DX were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not the 1997 Attitude Era DX.
The good
but
DX.
like
You were alive for the bad DX.
I was alive for the Old Man Winkle reboot of DX, and at the time that was fucking incredible. But I didn't know the Attitude Era DX existed, and it feels like when I compare the two, like if you look at them from a surface, you kind of I see the similarities, but at the same time they have different, like there's more differences than the similarities, but there's enough similarities for you to go, oh, these are quite similar. You know, like if you looked at them from a glance and looked at like a 30-minute summary of them both, which I think there is, there will be somewhere because it's the internet, you'd go, oh, these two are the fucking same. Like if you compared the NWO and the Bullet Club, you'd be like, oh, these are the fucking same. But they've done well enough to distance themselves from any similarity, but at the same time, I can completely understand why anybody on the internet would say the Bullet Club and these two very famous WWE or WCW factions are very similar.
I think age has a big... Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to praise Nia Jax for one later on in the show, and I'm going to surprise you. And
oh my God,
I'm going to defend the Young Bucks here for one thing. It's so hard to do something in pro wrestling now that hasn't already been.
Yeah,
and I
true.
get that.
That's
I totally get that. And I don't want to ever come off like I want the Young Bucks to fail totally and like get their career shut down. They go bankrupt their families because the cease and desist. I just try a little harder.
No, I'm just kidding.
You know?
Yeah,
I just want to make it clear. I don't like them, but I certainly don't want to. I wouldn't wish them
like
to
horrible,
not. No,
ill
I don't.
Like,
I would never wish. Like, I don't want them to not be able to feed their families. That's like.
I just feel like I've seen
their
their potential in ring, and yes, they're fucking talented as hell. If they're not as spotty, and they're capable of telling good stories. I've seen them do it in matches with like the fucking Motor City Machine Guns. I think they just had a match recently too. Not that match, but an earlier one. I've seen them have good matches in the past, but they rely on this appeal to the pander to the smarkies, all that stuff. You know what I mean? The Meltzer Driver though is one of my favorite tag team finishers ever.
Absolutely,
it's vicious.
It's a funny name too. It's like for wrestling nerds. Like it's a move for wrestling nerds. And I think
the books. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say one quick thing. I'll let you go. I just feel that one thing that I've noticed, and I think it's exposed it, is that this whole Bullet Club invasion thing, it really kind of drew this line in the sand, and you can really see the old school fans going against the new school fans, right? People who were alive during the Attitude Era and before kind of tend to be more critical because we've seen all of this before. Whereas the younger generation, who might not have seen the NWO, might not have seen original DX, or even like the Four Horsemen or any kind of these other great factions that we've had the privilege of growing up with, they don't have that kind of like baggage, for lack of a better term, but they don't have that baggage of seeing all these matches over all these years. Like they
have the Nexus, and they have Shitless,
and they have Core, and they have all this garbage. So when Bullet Club comes around, and they're, I hate this word, but they're a little bit more edgy, they're a little bit less PG, it makes a lot of sense that they have a lot of fans. And I totally see things from, even though I'll never admit this again, but I see things from Robbie's perspective, but I can also see things from that older generation's perspective, where we look at them and we're like, yeah, we've seen this, move on type of deal.
I flat out admit I used to really be into the Bullet Club. For me, I just think Bullet Club should have stopped when Omega kicked Styles out. Then it was just like it should have just been
They
the
should
Elite.
have gone to the Elite. Yes, I completely agree with you on that.
That's the
I was
popular.
actually into the Bullet Club when Styles was the leader. It was tremendous. I really liked it. And then the fans made it cringe for me because it was just like, it's like we've said it before, when you like a band who's underground and then more mainstream fans start liking them and you see changes because of them being mainstream and it makes it cringe. It's kind of like that.
It's like me growing up with Blink-182, where the first album, like Dude Ranch, or not the first album, but like Dude Ranch was a pretty punk rock album. And then you had Take Your Pants Off and Jack. Oh, no, then you had the one with Janine on the cover. Which was a little bit more pop, and then they had their live album, which they always played a little bit more punk during their shows. And then
Avenged Sevenfold was borderline death metal.
There you go.
Oh shit!
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's I mean, it's just it's
hail to the king to the stage.
You know, it's an evolution thing, and you like just think of it. Look at where DX went. DX was a really cool, edgy. God, I hate that word. I got to stop saying it. But a really cool faction, and then when they came back as dads. It like
was weird.
It was weird. It was like watching these really old men make dick and fart jokes, and it's just like it doesn't have the same charm it used to, boys.
Triple H was fat and had a Lemmy mustache and looked weird. And,
it was just it just didn't have the same vibe. It didn't have the same feeling, and like to me, DX will always be that Triple H, Road Dogg, X-Pac, and Billy Gunn. I watched all of original DX, but I didn't like Shawn Michaels because I was a big Bret Hart fan, and back then I was a mark who believed everything. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly, right? So being Canadian, that's when I was proud to be a Canadian. I was like, well, Bret's my guy. Fuck Shawn Michaels. How dare he sticks the flag up his nose? Now I would fucking burn it, but you know that's a whole other podcast. But I mean, I guess I'm just rambling here, but what I'm saying is like there was that line drawn in the sand this week, I feel like, and there was like the old school fan and like the millennial fans, for lack of a better term. But like it was really interesting to see actually people lose their fucking mind, whether they were 19 years old or like 49 years old. It did one thing I will give credit, it got people talking. No matter what.
The Independence Day speech, I will say that gave me a laugh because I knew what it was from.
Yeah,
and I didn't see the spoilers about it.
Instantly, yeah. When he started, I'm like, he's motherfuckers doing Bill Pullman right now. Which, by the way, great actor. I love Bill Pullman. He was great in Spaceballs.
I mean, one thing I will. One thing I will say.
Spaceball 1. They went to Plaid. Okay, sorry. Go on, Robbie.
I'll just say one thing I will say is that it's two things, and they're both different points. But like the difference was, and it comes down to age again. Is I remember when I was watching DX in 2006 time, I was 9, and everything they did when I was 9 was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
For instance, when
I was 9 years old when WrestleMania 9 came out, and I fucking loved it back then, and it's one of the worst WrestleManias of all time.
Exactly.
Yeah, me too.
Like when like for instance when Coachman went in to talk to Vince McMahon, who's in the toilet, and he just turned and started pissing on him. I remember just like creasing with laughter. And the second thing is like, and I will defend it till the day I die, and everybody that knows me knows I will. But I always see the Young Bucks as one of the best, tag teams in the world right now. But like on top of being a really good tag team, they know how to play fans into not only like watching the Bucks, but buying the like.
They're very good at selling merchandise. They're always at the top of Pro Wrestling Tees. Always.
Yeah, I mean, we have one of the few tolerable Young Bucks fans on our show, Rob.
I think
because Robbie can take me.
The rest are juggalos.
But sorry, go ahead, Drew. You haven't said much. We'll let Drew talk.
Oh no, I was just going to say I think it's funny that you were talking about that. We saw the line drawn and the generation gap here, and the conversation we're having, and I just realized I think you, me, and Travis are all the exact same age, and Robbie is.
I think so, right? Well, I mean, I'm 33. I think Travis is too, and Drew.
I am too.
Oh wow.
Yeah. 84. Yeah.
84. Yes.
84.
Fuck you, Robbie.
So we got there's your line drawn right there.
But it puts a great perspective on it.
It does, and that's why I like having. That's why I like having Robbie on the show.
So you were 13 during 1997. So there you go. Like,
yeah, exactly. It was right in that.
It's
right
really
in that
easy.
slot.
Every WrestleMania year, I was that age that year.
Yeah,
Exactly.
same me. Same thing for. That's how I remember how old I am.
Sweet. Yep.
I've told people that same thing before.
Me too. And people are like, "Oh wow, that's so cool." I was like, "Well, it just means I was born in '84. It's really not that cool." But
It means
yeah.
I'm pretty dumb for not just knowing my age off.
Well, dude,
No, trust me, I've never used that to pick up a woman.
I'm
in
not
my
even.
life.
I'm not even shitting you, dude. Last 2 weeks ago, I had to literally sit and think about how old I was. I didn't remember if I was 33 or 32. That's a true fucking story. I
Bad man.
Hey, smoke weed every day. There's no what negative side effects. But yeah, we just spent a half hour on the Bullet Club, so I'm pretty near suicide now.
Just to kind of close it off, because I can't be bothered talking about it. I will say, and I honestly do see, like, it's two things in the Bullet, the Jackson specifically. And I always used to play against it, but it's kind of annoyed me this week how thin-skinned they've become on social media.
Really
like
are,
a couple of years ago, they were like
No way.
really funny, but now, like, for some reason, like, I saw like one of my friends
Because
on
of
Twitter,
people like me.
They hate stuff.
yeah, like one of my friends on Twitter tweeted them like just a remotely funny question, and they just blocked him straight there. And I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Right? And look at right here. I said Waylon Mercy, and I said Han Solo GIF, and blocked. Boom. That's all
I
it
mean,
took.
in their defense, I did call them thin-skinned cunts, and then when one of them blocked me, I went to ask his brother why his thin-skinned cunt brother blocked me, and then he blocked me. So then I went to see their friend Kenny Omega, and I asked why he hangs out with two thin-skinned cunts. So I deserved it. But I saw him reply. Like I said,
Did Kenny block you?
I think they blocked me real quick. It didn't even take fucking.
But if Kenny blocks me, I generally take my own.
Oh,
life.
You can call me a thin-skinned cunt, boys. I'm back this week. Hey.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Nia Jax is back this week. Mike, we didn't even see her come in, which is a fucking feat and a half.
I was upset they didn't invade me when it came to the building.
Oh my!
I'm
God.
glad my awful fat shaming joke just went pretty unnoticed.
Yeah, I didn't even hear you.
Because I said Nia Jax snuck in here, which is a feat in itself.
Oh god.
She's
Man.
she's
I
not
saw
very-
some enraged women for some Nia Jax worked tweets. It's a work, people. It's fucking work.
Did you
When
see the
her
person?
contact-
Oh, Travis, I know you saw the girl who was all like complaining that like there was some back and forth between Lana and Naomi, like, and she was like, "Oh, sure,
Oh yeah.
Y'all-
It was racist.
yeah, it was."
Broski, you're a racist.
I am. I'm a
Red.
filthy racist. I'm a horrible
What you
racist.
mean the way we talk? That's like, really? Come on.
Yeah.
So,
Don't call me sister. And I was like, oh, here we go.
and it was so simple. All I did was ask her a question. I
Mm-hmm.
called her Tootsie. I wasn't mean. I gave her a nice little nickname. I was like, well, black comedians, they make a living making fun of how white people talk. And then she blocked me, and I screenshotted the block and say, oh, that was quick. Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's the race baiting people. They're really quick to block you.
It's like aside from, and I know this ties in, and it's almost like a heel turn coming from me. So one of the most like unbearable group of fans on Twitter, I've got to say, hand on heart, are Bullet Club fans.
Whoa.
Like,
Wow. I wasn't
they
expecting
do.
that.
Like, as someone that recognizes that Bullet Club aren't now the most popular stable in Japan, and it's like unfunny how like they're not at all. The fans are so like,
Ugh.
I can't even begin to describe how annoying. Like, do you know?
Illogical is the word.
Well,
Okay,
they're,
so
they're so intense,
right
and there's
now-
no discussion to
Yeah,
be had. That's why I like
intense.
having Robbie on here, because I can
Go on any fucking Twitter site of any pro wrestling news thing right now and go to the thread, and it's ridiculous right now with the cease and desist. I've just been looking at it, put my toes in anywhere. I just sat back with a fucking iced tea and was like, God, this is
It's
pathetic.
good reading. It's good reading.
It is. It is.
It's annoying. Like, and everybody that knows New Japan knows for a fucking fact that Los Ingobernables are by far the most popular group in Japan. At the very fucking worldwide, it's the Bullet Club. In Japan, where it matters, it's Los Ingobernables for more reasons than one. However, I hate those people that like because they watch New Japan, and I remember like hating this even when I first started watching New Japan. I hate the people that like watch New Japan and only watch New Japan. Like they'll watch WWE and New Japan, but they'll say they don't actually watch WWE, and they'll be like, this is a better promo than Roman Reigns cuts, lads. And you think, fuck off.
It's like, well, how do you know that if you didn't watch last fucking week?
Yeah.
I'll try to catch New Japan 2 shows a year. It's turned into the Dominion show has been one of their better ones in the last couple of years, and of course Wrestle Kingdom.
I watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, like Wrestle Kingdom's always the one that like you should always tune into, like, because the stories aren't like overcomplicated. It's just he wrestles him because he thinks he's better than him, and it's normally a spectacular match.
It's a spectacle.
Like, and I just hate the people that will tune into it and then tell me everything they know about New Japan. Like, I know I've only been watching it maybe 2-3 years, but like, I kind of went out of my way to go back and watch 90s All Japan and 80s New Japan. For
even
more
was the
than
90s all women's promotion with Bull Nakano. Even that's really good. I've gone back and tried to catch.
Oh, Bull Nakano and
all Japan, just All Japan wrestling.
I love I love Japanese commentary. I have no idea what the fuck they're saying.
It's so great.
I have no idea what the fuck they're saying, but it sounds so good. Like they sound so excited about it. It's like and you're just like watching the screen, and it's just like, dude, the guy's walking to the ring, and they're like, oh, somebody, he's still. And I was like, oh, okay.
Who really likes it?
It's like.
I apologize to any Japanese listeners we might have. I'm sorry.
It's like in a way how the 90s WWF commentary used to be, in a way.
Yeah, how JR. Yeah, how JR.
Body drop.
When I used to listen to like when I used to watch Raw, like because Raw would play on Tuesday afternoons here as a replay. When I used to come home from school and watch it, and like before dinner, I'd go downstairs to watch it, and like, you know, my mom would be making dinner. But this was before she would watch, and she would go, "Who is that guy yelling? He's gonna have a heart attack." And she was talking about JR. So yeah. That's a fair comparison.
Like I remember I was watching it today because obviously I was being a mark while I was cooking. I was watching the 10 loudest pops of all time in WWF history.
I love those.
And like just the level of enthusiasm, like and this is how it feels for like New Japan now, which is why it's really popular. The invasion angle when Stone Cold wasn't himself, and then he turned up when there was a massive the Alliance vs WWF ball, and Stone Cold's walking down to the ring, and JR was
playing pool. He was like at a bar, right?
Yeah.
Robbie?
And then like he threw the bottle, like snapped his pool cue, and then walked off. And Deborah was like, Steve, and then like he turns up, and like
that was a very good impression.
The JR's like, this crowd needs Austin, blah blah blah, and then his music hits, and JR's just like, oh, he's talking, and like now it just be like, and Stone Cold's here, son of a bitch. Yeah, like now in WWE, this is why it kind of disappointed. Like, you don't get iconic commentary calls in WWE anymore.
No, you just get Michael Cole shrieking.
But like even the for the love of mankind thing when Shane jumps off the Hell in the Cell.
Oh yeah,
it's just visibly reading that sheet of paper.
Now every time it's the same thing. And Michael Cole's, oh my,
yeah,
every fucking time
when the music hits, oh my, yeah, that's yeah.
It's just like the fucking Fabulous Moolah's ashes being wheeled to the ring. Oh my! Jesus, I'm like, fuck off.
Rob, you were talking about Ivory earlier. You know what I just watched on the network was Moolah and Ivory for the title when Moolah beat her for some reason the other day.
Oh, was it by roll-up?
Awful.
And it was a horrendous match.
You know what? You know what I like to go back and watch a lot. You know, especially when I got a little alone time. I got some hand lotion near my computer.
China?
No, I like. Oh God, no. Nothing like watching X-Pac and trying to fuck on crystal meth. That's a good time. No, it's even better than that. It's when Mae Young took off her top and let her titties flop around.
The Rumble. Oh yeah, I watched that live on pay-per-view with my whole family.
So did I. And
my grandmother was in the living room. So I was like, oh.
And then you just look at her and you're like, oh.
I didn't look at her. That's the thing. I don't look at anybody.
You just have you do that thing where you put your two hands like on either side of your face to give yourself like tunnel vision. You're like, bye, Grandma. It was nice seeing you again. I'm going to throw up now.
Pretty much.
Well, that's so I mean, so we talked about the Bullet Club. I want to just really quick touch on the mental breakdown that the internet had this week over the WWE 2K18 DLC that's coming out. because that was fucking beautiful. I love watching nerds lose their fucking mind. And look, listen, I call people nerds all the time. I'm king nerd. I'm N. Well, I guess no, there's already an N, but I'm nerd on the periodic, table of the elements, right? But Christ Almighty, like, look, last year I wanted to buy Nakamura. I didn't really want anybody else. I just wanted Nakamura. So I went on Xbox Live. I went on the store. I went to check how much it was. It was like, I think somewhere between $6 and $9 just for that one character. And I went, well, that's a shame. I guess I won't be playing Nakamura this year. And I moved on with my life. The comments on the thread of WWE 2K18's announcement, where they announced all the DLC and stuff, it sounded like someone was telling these people that their water supply was just suddenly going to be cut. Like, I don't understand. I don't get, and people bitching about, oh, well, I wanted this wrestler. Well, I wanted this wrestler. Well, I wanted this wrestler. And it's like, dude, to create a wrestler, give the game 3 days after it's out, you'll have every single fucking wrestler you've ever wanted to fucking play in the game already. And they're probably done better, and their moveset is more accurate than if 2K did it themselves, because wrestling nerds are obsessive.
Yeah, exactly. Go on the fucking
like
marketplace.
This is gonna they create a wrestler now, and what you could fucking download Batman if you wanted. Like the shit you can get off that. I spent like half my time on like 6-man tags playing as the Power Rangers
characters versus
the Power Rangers.
Just because it's funny. Like, okay, one thing that pisses me off is that the rest of it I kind of laughed at, but like if you look at the DLC and the fact you had the Rock and Roll Express as part of the DLC, I think. Yeah. And the Hardys. People were losing their fucking minds. Yeah,
the Hardys is the one that I came out. Like, I didn't lose my shit. I put out a tweet.
They came out
I think that's asinine. They've been out since Mania they debuted. Like, what? That is so cash grabby and milky.
Oh, it is. It's 100% a cash grab. But, like, that's where the video game industry is gone. The video game industry is nothing more than a nickel and dime operation now. DLC
I have to talk about that tomorrow night with Bethesda on the reset button.
Yeah, I mean DLC is one of the worst quote unquote innovations in the history of gaming, because all that shit that you're paying for is already on the disc. It's
at least South
all
Park's
on the disc.
Like humorous, I guess, but they're still guilty of doing it at the end of the day.
What are they doing? What is South Park doing?
Oh, I'm sorry, I mixed it up with the difficulty levels. I was thinking the skin color change, but I was confused. I meant Bethesda when I said that.
I love the skin color change for the difficulty.
That's funny.
That's fucking hilarious.
I'm talking about Bethesda. They're charging people to set the difficulty higher in a game, which is so bullshit.
What game is that?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I
just heard about it. I'm not sure the specifics. It could be Fallout 4, some new DLC patch, something. I have no
as
clue.
If they need to. And I personally loved it. I loved it. I played through it 3 times. But as if people if it was for Fallout, I'd be saying as if people need another reason to hate that game, because a lot of people hate that game. I don't really get it. I love it. I think it's great.
There's two sides of the fence, definitely, with that love and hate.
But I just thought it was hilarious that people are getting so upset with something that at the end of the day really just doesn't matter.
It's just like Madden, guys. Calm down. Wait a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. And I mean, look, last year I didn't get Nakamura. This year when I pick up the game, Nakamura's in it. So there you go. I waited a year. I'm still here. It was a tough year, boys. I would wake up screaming in the middle of the night, Nakamura! But I mean, you know what I hope? I hope that the fucking career mode is better than last year, because last year I never got out of NXT. I got sick of the game before I ever made it, because after you fight Hideo Itami 35 times in a row, the game gets fucking old.
I hope the Barbarians in this, just so Drew can go, Tommy Young! Which I didn't know.
Tommy Young!
It is annoying, the way that Micro... It's meant to have been revamped in a big way this year, but you just debut... And for some reason, Sami Zayn would stand on the edge of the ramp and you'd think, well, what the fuck is he doing? He's like the biggest baby face in the company. And he'd cost you match, or it'd be Tyler Breeze. And you'd be like, what the fuck are these two doing? And you'd have to feud with like 300 people before you could even sniff at the belt held by Brock Lesnar, whose health bar would never go down.
I never even made it for a title. I never won a title in the game last year. I got bored of it.
I was the WWE champion, the World Heavyweight Champion, for over a year, So I was about to retire because like you can, once you do the Hall of Fame things, you can retire.
Wait, there's Hall of Fame things?
Yeah, it's like if you reach these achievements, you can retire.
Like I never even saw the Heyman. Like there was like this Paul Heyman option that was always blocked because I had to win. I think you had to get into the main roster or win a title, and I never managed to do either. And I never lost, by the way. I never lost. I just kept winning and winning, and my stats would stay the same. I'd be at the top of the list to be like to challenge for a title. Would never get a title shot. I'd get thrown into a different feud. It'd be like Hideo Itami. Tyler Breeze. I'm like, oh, cool, Tyler Breeze. Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
Like, I don't play wrestling games to play online. I hate playing online. I hate people. Yeah. And playing online, it lags, it's broken, and plus there's always a way that you can cheap your way to victory, and everybody knows the trick, and I don't like, it's like the wraparound trick in NHL 93.
I think this is the year, boys. I haven't bought one since 2K14. I think 2K18, the graphics look incredible. I do gotta say that
they look really good. Did any of you pre-order it?
I have not.
No, I was. If I didn't go to America, I probably would have done.
You know what I did get today? I ordered offline. The Sonic Mania collection with the statue. Sega.
Nice.
I know that looks amazing. The game's great.
That's very cool. It's very cool. Welcome to Nerd Talk.
Welcome to the reset button.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But the annoying thing was, okay, this is what pissed me off about playing 2K16. I played 2K17 for 5 minutes and uninstalled it because it was just the same. But so I was World Heavyweight Champion for a year, and I dropped it to Brock Lesnar via fucking count out, which everybody knows in wrestling doesn't mean you lose the belt.
Wow.
I lost via count out, right? And it was like I was on my feet outside the ring, and the referee literally went 1, 2, 10, ring the bell. And I was like,
wait, that means Lex Luger is still the champion of the stable.
Exactly. Holy shit.
Lost.
I lost it by a count out, so I expected to keep playing, and them give me a rematch. And then it came to WrestleMania, so I thought, all right, here's my rematch. I had the Big Show in a last man standing match. I just fucking remember disconnecting my controller and just walking away.
Threw it across the. Wow, you made it all the way to WrestleMania. Wow.
I've not played it. It was like WrestleMania 2019. I took it seriously. I took it really seriously. That's why I got really pissed off with it.
Paying your dues, man. That's what you did.
Yeah, you paid your dues.
Once you get out of NXT, it's kind of tolerable. Depending on what championship you go for, but it's fucking stupid. You look at the rankings, and
I wouldn't know. I never made it out.
It was so stupid. You'd have Simon Gotch wrestling for the women's championship at times. I was just like, what the fuck?
Oh, boy.
It was stupid. Anyway, on to real.
I wish they would remake a wrestling game like WrestleFest, the old one that was in
the that was my
just
favorite,
the retro graphics, but the modern roster. That'd be cool.
Well, there's a wrestling game. There's a wrestling game. I think it's called Pro Wrestling X on Steam. I haven't checked it in a year.
Fire Pro Wrestling?
No, it was Pro Wrestling X, and it was a modern wrestling game with modern graphics with the N64 controls.
Nice.
It was in pre-alpha when I bought it. I got it for $3, but I haven't gone back to it in quite some time. I should check it out. I'll be back next week and I'll play it this week, and I'll be back and I'll give you my impressions. Because from what I played, it was very clunky. It was very.
You should do a video on it for the channel.
I should do a video. I should probably put some content up on my channel. It's been since the last podcast. I haven't done shit. So
I'm gonna put a mobile Let's Play up this week, actually, which is surprising.
Wow, yeah, that is surprising. Yeah. But I think we're gonna cut this segment here for now because we're nearing an hour already. And then we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with No Mercy results and our Raw recap.
If you're not tuned in to the Shining Wizards, listen to what some of our fans have to say about the show.
Hey guys, it's the Stallion, and when I'm contemplating suicide, I throw on the Shining Wizards because nothing makes me feel better than knowing I'm not one of these 4 grown adults, virgin fucking marks, discussing a fake wrestling product.
Tune in live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. East, rantemradio.com. It's the Shining Wizards, where it's wrestling talk and talk about wrestling.
And we have returned. You were worried for a second. I could feel it. I felt it. I knew you guys worried we might not come back. But we're here. We're going to talk about No Mercy, Raw, and SmackDown. But a little warning this week. I'm a little pressed for time. So we're going to go through this real quick. All right. So No Mercy was this past Sunday overall, I felt it was a pretty good show with some disappointing matches. But we'll get to that. In the kickoff match, you had Elias defeat Apollo Crews. I didn't watch it.
Best match of all time.
I bet it was. Intercontinental Championship match, The Miz versus Jason Jordan. The Miz retained his title. Decent match. It was all right. Man versus man, Finn Balor. What a stupid fucking thing to call this match. Man versus man. Okay.
Sorry, did they call it that?
Yes, they did. I'm getting these results off the WWE website. So it's man versus man. Finn Balor defeated Bray Wyatt again. Thank God this is over, hopefully. Raw Tag Team Championship match, which was the best match of the night by far. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins defeated Cesaro and Sheamus to retain their WWE Raw Tag Team titles. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about this match because Cesaro is probably one of the toughest fucking guys. We were talking about this before on the pre-show. That's only for our ears. As I have some issues with my teeth where I get really bad toothaches sometimes. As someone who has to deal with that, it can be kind of crippling to the point where like it gets into your head and you get a migraine from it, so that you just can't move and you want to die. The guy shoved his teeth 4 centimeters into his skull, and he finished the match. Not only did he finish the match, he ate a brogue kick, which I know he covered up for, but still, that made some contact with his face. What did you guys think about this match? I thought it was my match of the night, personally.
It was my favorite Ambrose match that I can actually remember outside of the Triple H.
I agree.
Match.
And that
what I was going to say, Robbie.
That white cross to powerbomb off the top rope or the second rope was probably one of the most brutal things I've seen in WWE in a while, and it was fucking awesome.
And the crowd wasn't dead; they were totally into it, which enhanced it.
Yeah, I thought it was a great match. Well, I mean, all 4 guys. I mean, anybody who listens to this podcast knows none of us are really big Dean Ambrose fans. I have to give him credit here. I thought it was great. I thought Rollins was great, and Sheamus and Cesaro, I'm a big fan of theirs, especially since now they have this kind of common look. They feel like a team. They look like a team. I think they're one of the best tag teams in the WWE. A little underrated, if you ask me, even. Like, maybe not within the company, but in terms of fan reaction and the way that fans seem to embrace them.
I think they've made us all eat crow, and because months ago we were bitching that they were making them a team because we were so into Cesaro. But I mean, say what you want, it's been great for what it's been.
I think they're great. I think they're perfect for each other. There's 2 guys who weren't doing fuck all, and they recovered from that best of 7, which I was really into up until the last match, and then nobody won, and I thought that was really dumb. But I was into it, and it made me totally change opinion on Sheamus. I could not stand a Sheamus match back in the day. Now I kind of look forward to seeing him and Cesaro come out every week. So I mean, that was a fun match. Drew, do you have any thoughts about this?
I love Dean. No, I agree with all that completely. I think it's good for everybody involved, and I like how when they first put Ambrose and Rollins together, I thought it was a little too over the top for their place on the roster, but it's worked really well so far, especially with Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah, I gotta say, I agree with you on that, Drew. As someone who was really negative and being like, "Oh God, why are they? Oh God, we're gonna get a Shield." Actually, I kind of like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins together. Not when they talk, but I mean in matches. When they talk, they're still goofy as fucking retarded, and I don't know.
It's like the natural chemistry.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was match of the night, definitely. We'll move on right now to the Fatal 5-Way Raw Women's Championship match, which was better than it had any right to be. Alexa Bliss defeated Sasha Banks, Bayley, Nia Jax, and Emma. I love the fact that they rushed Bayley back just so she could eat a pin. That was great. I thought that was funny. Big return.
She's just shit.
She's so bad. She's so bad. I can't believe Bayley for me is like the opposite of how I feel about the Miz, and what I mean by that is I used to despise the fucking Miz, and now he's one of my favorite guys, probably my favorite superstar after Kevin Owens. If you said a couple of years ago that I'd be sitting here today saying that, I'd call you a fucking psychopath and that you don't know what you're talking about, but here we are. I thought this was a pretty good match, and I thought that Nia Jax in particular looked fucking great. She took that big power bomb off the side of the apron, which looked like it sucked.
How did Nia feel about that?
I really appreciate that, baby.
No problem, Nia.
I think for Nia Jax.
I got to eat my words. I talk shit about her every week, man. You know what? I think No Mercy was her coming out party. I really do.
The way that go ahead. I think you were going to say the same thing, so go ahead, Robbie.
The way that Like, even on camera, when she'd look pissed off, the whole crowd would be like, oh, shit.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It seems like it's clicking. I'm noticing it.
It's like how they kind of...
getting it.
That's how... And this is going to sound really simple. Book her like Braun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's just 101. Like, just
that's how they started after the brand split.
Yep.
Do the squash matches, and then they just make. But the difference is, one of the differences is the personality. Like, they're both big, and they're both like dwarf the entire roster. Like, even the big guys. The difference is Braun is like, I want competition, and Nia, as we all know on this show, is like, oh my god.
Dare I say the direction they go is they could go in Asuka and Nia as like an Awesome Kong Gail Kim back in the day, and that could be their new feud for the title in the future. I think that could work.
I agree. Although, if you think back to their feud in NXT, it was kind of lackluster.
But I guess that
was a younger Nia Jax too.
That's true. She's more seasoned now. She's had more experience. And one thing that I liked about this match, and I brought it up to you guys in the DMs, or maybe I said it last week on the show, is that my main problem with the way that they booked Nia Jax is that she's never beaten. She beats herself. She'll run into a ring post, she'll run into a barrier, she'll do something where she tries to use her size and it backfires. Once in a while, that's fine. But when when it's all the time, and she's so, like, the way I see it, she doesn't lose, she beats herself, and that's a terrible way to build up a wrestling.
Heel has to win.
Exactly.
You gotta have credibility to back up your bullshit.
It's either just, they have to win, win, or they have to do what they did in this match and have everybody else in the ring gang up on them. That makes sense
or
to
even
me.
Just lose by like DQ of like just pummeling something.
Yeah, exactly. But
you don't have to win all the time.
And you don't necessarily have. Yeah, you don't have to win all the time. But when you lose, you shouldn't lose because somebody else moved and you took yourself out.
One thing I like.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say, how about like back in the day when, like, you know, the monster heel would always like win the match, but then after the match they would just keep beating the shit out of them, so they'd have to reverse the decision because they just.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
The monster heel would always win the matches on the way to the match with Hogan. They would always lose the match with Hogan, then attack Hogan. They always found a way to get their heat back, so they were a draw in a way.
Exactly.
And then if they were against mid card guys, they'd be dominant again.
Exactly.
Yeah, like one thing I kind of like saw and underappreciated was at the end of the match when Alexa Bliss was on a ramp, all the women were like lying down and are like leaning against the post, like clutching something in pain, and Nia Jax was just stood up and just looked pissed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that makes sense.
Everyone else was really injured, and she was just like ready for round 2.
Yep.
That women's match I was so pleasantly surprised at No Mercy.
Dude, I was ready to go in on this and shit all over it on Twitter while I was watching. I didn't post a single tweet because, and that's how you know. That's how you know if I'm enjoying the show. If you see a constant stream of tweets from me on Monday nights or Tuesday nights, it's because I'm bored and I don't want to watch the show I'm watching. I'm just doing it because I have this show and I like doing this show. You know, it's just like during No Mercy, for the most part, I didn't tweet that much. I didn't really tweet that much because I enjoyed most of the show. But this women's match definitely surprised me. It was refreshing to actually enjoy a women's match. And I'm a big fan of Nia Jax. I think she's completely different than everybody else. She's not like most girls. Right, boys? Right, boys? But before... Oh, Nia. Easy now. You know what your voice...
I put her away for the night. I told her to go lay down. She's had a rough day.
Well, she's still recovering from that power
bomb. Lay down,
she took a Midol and she's tapping out, man. She's good.
And then for the next 3 matches, I think the underlying theme is disappointment. Because
whoa. Hey. The
next match was Roman Reigns, who defeated John Cena.
Greatest match in the history of the fucking sport.
Woof. You sound like me when I'm trying to justify some of the heinous things Kevin Owens does.
You know what? For a Hogan Warrior-esque kind of babyface spectacle match, yes. Problem is, wrong era for the Embrace. If they would have just Roman kicked him in the dick and then pull the trigger, Roman would have been made. Yep. Then there would have been asses in these empties. I'm telling you, they made the wrong call by just a hug.
Well, do you know?
And I know we've been saying it forever about a Roman heel turn, but that was the moment.
That would have been perfect.
Reigns like didn't want to do the segment. Like John Cena insisted they do the passing of the torch thing. Reigns just wanted to kind of beat him and like go for the handshake and leave. kind of thing.
I would have been all right with
Whereas
that.
like Cena,
Is that what it was? Cena like whispering to him during after the match? You could see like
when it was like, "Shake my hand, we'll do this." Like that's what I think it was. Sean Ross, that guy was telling us, or Justin Labar. It was one of them, and it was just like they kind of said that, and it just kind of had me believe that, in a way, that was John Cena's last hurrah of not getting Reigns over as what they wanted Reigns to be. So I'm kind of disappointed by that regard. But like even the match, like if you split it into 2 sets of 10 minutes, the first 10 was real slow.
And I felt that John Cena kind of had that Rock vibe when they first met at WrestleMania, where he wasn't taking him seriously, where he's like, I have this in the bag. He was interacting with the crowd. He was looking goofy. And I just felt like, the beginning of the match.
Showed a difference, like in the times. It was depressing. You know how when Hogan and Rock, right, at WrestleMania, when they first faced off, that crowd was so hot. Yeah. That stare lasted, it felt like 5 minutes, right? They tried to do it here. Nobody did anything. It was silent, really. And they just started working. Like, they just worked. They didn't do a stare down. They just went into a headlock. It was weird. And it's kind of depressing. That's how much times it changed, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. It was. I just felt underwhelmed. I just felt as much as I was looking forward to this match, here's what bothered me. Cena hits him with an AA off the top rope. He kicks out. He hits him with another AA, rolls him up, hits him with another AA. He kicks out.
Yeah.
Cena eats a Superman punch and a spear. 1, 2, 3. It's over.
Yep.
I was like,
that's exactly.
It's simple booking.
It's really simple and it's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, but what it is.
Well, I mean, I guess I can understand why, because it made Roman look strong. I mean, God, they never do that.
It made more sense here though, because they were like trying to tell it felt like the old dog who couldn't quite go as much as the
Cena's
young
doubted his ability.
Yeah.
Which like they kind of told the story that Cena wasn't hitting these AAs with as much potency as he was maybe 10 years ago. Right. And it's gonna people might roll their eyes, but this is a thing that New Japan do really fucking well. And it's just protecting finishes. Like John Cena's been hitting multiple AAs on guys for years, even on like weekly TVs. Like sometimes, like in the main event, he'll hit more than one. Yeah. Like he should have, in my opinion, he shouldn't have rolled out the Avalanche AA, because that's when I'd have been like, fucking, like that should have been it. Like if you hit an Avalanche move, then they're done. Like if you hit an Avalanche, like Kenny Omega hit an Avalanche. One Winged Angel, and it was over. And I'm going to ignore that.
Like Rob, you said New Japan, though. They did that with Yuji Nagata. It's like he used to be a top draw. They booked him like...
Okay, it's the same with, like... they're doing, like, the same with Omega as they're doing with Reigns. It only takes one spear, as it only takes one Winged Angel to win. And... if it was a Styles clash, as it was, like that's when I kicked off with Reigns about making them look strong. When it took more than one Styles clash to beat Reigns, I mean, they didn't even beat Reigns. Sorry,
I don't think Styles clash has beaten anybody.
It hasn't.
It almost killed Ellsworth.
That's true.
It hasn't SmackDown tapings, but maybe not PPVs. But like the difference is with Cena, like I said, is that Cena hits more than one AA on every guy every week, pretty much. That's the only reason why I was kind of like, I wasn't as outraged. But like, when he hit the Avalanche, I was a bit like, well, this is it.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh shit, they're actually going to put Reigns over. Because the moment you hit the Avalanche AA and kick out of it, you're not going to fucking, like, nothing else is really going to affect you.
Yeah.
So that's the only kind of reason I was annoyed. But like, I like how, because the guy that kicks out of the spear, the next guy that kicks out of the spear is a big fucking deal.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because it only takes one spear to beat. It took one spear to beat the Undertaker, I think. But that's because he like ran against the ropes for like. I don't think it was one spear. It might have been two. Yeah, but like, I think Triple H, it took one spear. Like everybody's pretty much taken one spear. So the person that actually
they'll blow their fucking loads. They won't. They'll put Roman in like a fucking match, and there'll be 7 spears because there's chairs and ladders or something. It'll mean nothing again, like they always do. Can't help it.
They'll blow it, but like I like what they're doing with Reigns at the minute, and especially with his promo on Monday. But yeah, I was very happy with this match aside from the first 10.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Just a little bit underwhelming for me. personally. We then went to the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match where Enzo...
Second best match in the history.
Talk about fire emojis all over the place on Twitter this week.
Enzo Amore defeated Neville to become the new WWE Cruiserweight Champion. Jesus.
Man, I talked about Enzo Amore for an hour and a half last night live on my channel.
Yeah, we don't have to.
I'm in a different place now coming out of it than I was at this match. Yeah. Now I'm okay with it because I see what they're doing now, and it's working. I'll give them credit. If they're going to crash Holly him with the title, like Crash always found a way, let's see where it goes. Give it a chance. Let's see. And I eat shit. I eat my words on that too.
He was amazing on Monday. I have to give him credit. For being a piece of shit and rubbing it in everybody's face, he was absolutely amazing. And this comes from someone...
I think last night, because they gave him his heat back, did you see him hit Neville with a crutch? It was vicious.
No, I didn't. I didn't see...
Really violent. Like, really violent.
Oh, really? I might have to watch it then.
Like, and also, I've learned to do is every single fucking wrestling fan should do. Like, no, like, difference. When there's a big shock like this, give it a week and watch the weekly television and see where it goes.
I agree.
Because I was pissed when Enzo won this Vilo.
So was I.
And after Monday...
That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted to elicit from everyone.
Yeah, and
for reaction.
After Raw and after 205 Live, I sat back and thought, you know what? Good decision.
Yeah,
I really do think their battle plan, this whole Enzo bringing him into the division, it was to catch these new eyes, right? They're not going to keep the title on him long term. They're going to get these new eyes and capitalize on that. Eventually, they're going to translate that to Cedric, and that's why Neville's going to leave, and you're going to see some changes.
Yeah, it's actually really smart what they did.
It really is. Yeah, if you sit back and think about it.
And I'm the same way Robbie was. Sunday night after the pay-per-view, I was pissed. Monday night after Raw, I was like, all right, now it makes a lot more sense, and I actually like it, and it was the right decision. So
yeah. And
you always got to give time. You always got to give these things at least a week to flesh out.
Yeah, we did with Jason Jordan, and you know what? Now, months later,
that just fucking sucks.
Yeah, there's exceptions to the rule.
Gender sucks now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
But like what I would like to see, and what would get more eyes on the product, is if you have these fucking guys, these 205 guys, answer open challenges. I said it like in the DMs, not this week, but if you have for instance, AJ Styles is US champion, and he's like, I'm gonna take everybody on, even the faggots, because that's AJ. It's not actually me, that's AJ.
Oh my god.
And
hey, I didn't say faggot this week, boys.
I was very uncharacteristic. I was quoting AJ. But yeah, like if he's like, I'll take anybody on, and then Cedric Alexander comes out, you'd be a bit like.
It's amazing listening to an English guy do a Southern accent. I got to admit that's for like a highlight of my life right now.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah, like but if you have AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander and you let them like go as they would on the independent scene, you're looking at a match of the month.
Yeah.
You're looking at a good match. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of you could take any of those guys in the cruiserweight division, honestly, and put them against AJ Styles, and I think we'd get a solid
Styles versus
match.
Gulak.
I would I would hot take, gentlemen. I would say right now across the boards, Neville is even better than Styles because Neville cuts better promos. He's just as good, younger, if not better than Styles. He can pretty much carry anyone.
Hot take. I'm gonna have to conservatively agree with you. If the rumor's true about
him going for the WWE title, I'm okay with that.
Oh, I'm 100%. He does. He's outgrown 205 Live.
Yeah, 205 Live is the house that Neville built.
Yep, 100%. They could actually use that in a feud with AJ.
Yeah.
So
like it could be like, well, SmackDown was already established. 205 Live, however.
Yeah. It goes back to what you said about the Miz. Like, who would have thought who would have thought we'd ever be saying that about Neville in the WWE title picture? But I mean, look at it. He's tremendous.
Say what you fucking will. Vince McMahon knows how to build a star, lads.
Controversial take
these days. Neville built himself in this.
I agree.
He was given a show that nobody watched, that everybody mocked, and he just ran with it. They pretty much go out, be a heel. He's like, all right. And it didn't help that he's probably had this bitterness for being booked like shit with a cape for 2 years on top of it. Probably penned up.
Tagging with
the best stuff always came out of that. Steve Austin was penned up in ECW and some of the best stuff ever.
Oh God, yeah, his promo that he did to Bischoff and to Hulk Hogan and shit.
He dressed up like Eric Bischoff.
I can't do this, stupid shit anymore. Goes into a fucking, like, that was like the genesis. Like, that's where Stone Cold kind of, you got your first glimpses of Stone Cold Steve Austin, that ECW promo.
So good.
So yeah, that ties in with Heyman's promo when it was like, when Donk the Clown was blah, 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 Steve Austin was opening his first beer in ECW.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite promos. But they have had the 205 Live. I always say it, and I will say it till the day I die. Put that in Full Sail, and that will grow exponentially.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, can you guys? I mean, this might be taking it way too far, but can you imagine if they actually just like had a show like that was just straight up like awesome matches all the time,
like the Cruiserweight Classic type?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You wouldn't
mean like New Japan?
Best of the Super Juniors, and it's like 205.
It would be popular. It really would. I don't know.
Drew's got his inside insights.
He's doing his WWE survey here.
His mouth
Did you guys hear what I just said? Inside insights, as if you could have insights outside. Fucking idiot, Eric.
I just saw that picture, by the way, the Young Bucks is twisted. Thank you, Drew.
And I like the thumbnail of us on the cover of WWE 2K18. I think I'm going to use that as a thumbnail.
One thing I will say,
I didn't feel like making a thumbnail this week. Thanks.
We're also Triple H's boys in NXT. His little clique.
Yeah. Am I Triple H? I think you put me on Triple H. Yeah. All right. Cool. I like the way I look at Robbie.
I figured you'd like if I made Robbie Kevin Owens.
Well, he is my son, so I have much love for my son as much as I have for Kevin Owens.
Do you know what's really funny?
What?
And it's kind of relevant. Do you know how Triple H takes his mark picks with the wrestlers?
Yep.
Like after they won a championship, he explained.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it.
No, he said he does it. Like, he doesn't like doing it.
He does it to give him Twitter followers.
He does it because he's more famous.
Yeah.
And I thought that is the most Triple H response you'll ever hear.
Yep, that's true. I read that too this week. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought the same thing. I was like, is he cutting a promo right now?
I want testosterone levels tested right now between him and Steven Seagal. I'm just curious.
Putin.
Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal is turning into the caricature of him on South Park. It's fucking hilarious.
You have an hour to reveal yourself.
So finally, we'll get to the main event here. Brock Lesnar, who defeated and retained his WWE Universal Championship against Braun Strowman. This was a disappointment. But I heard, I don't remember where, but I heard that the reason why it was so underwhelming is because the rest of the pay-per-view was going long, and they kind of had, the ref kind of said bring it home when they hadn't got into like, you know.
I don't know, man. I
don't know, because it's their own network.
Did anyone else hear the rumor of fucking Paul Heyman is calling all the bookings for Brock's matches? Like, he's setting them up?
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's not a rumor. Yeah, it's not a rumor.
Okay, that's what I thought. So this match was essentially the same length as Joe and Brock, which had time. That pay-per-view wasn't rushed. And it was the same thing. It was exactly pretty much paint by numbers, except a few spots were different, right? So you had the table spot in the Joe match. That wasn't in this, but still, the Kimura spot, that was it. Braun hit his finish 3 times. Hit the Davey Boy power slam 3 times. Yeah, 1 F5. That's all it took. Same outcome. Underwhelming. I was so hyped going into this. And way to let everyone down. God. Yeah. This show totally flipped going out of it. The
Jesus
stuff that we
Christ.
dreaded going in was good.
That GIF you just tweeted to us, Robbie, where Cena's punching Alex Riley in the face.
Do you know how fucking brutal that is?
Jesus Christ. It's a cheap shot right from behind.
I got to see this.
Yeah, it's funny as fuck. I recommend it. So that was No Mercy. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. A little bit, a couple of bumps along the road. But the women's match, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the women's match and the tag team match really kind of saved this pay-per-view for me. I thought they were both tremendous matches that I would actually watch again. Weird.
Ooh.
And
sorry,
on that,
so much.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's brutal, right? Total fucking cheap shot. I love it. All right. So, boys, are you guys ready to get into Monday Night Raw real quick?
Fortunately.
All right. Here we go. Your official results for Monday Night Raw. Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan defeated Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel at 10 minutes and 50 seconds via pinfall. Elias defeated Apollo Crews at 2:43 via pinfall. Braun Strowman defeated Dean Ambrose at 6:15 via pinfall. Seth Rollins defeated Sheamus at 4 minutes and 30 seconds via pinfall. A non-title match, Roman Reigns defeated IC champion The Miz at 8 minutes and 50 seconds via pinfall. Finn Balor defeated Goldust at 7 minutes and 11 seconds via pinfall. And Sasha Banks and Bayley defeated Nia Jax and Emma at 8:38 via pinfall. All right, The Miz TV with Roman Reigns. I thought this was pretty fucking good. I like the opening segment.
It was great.
I like how it locked in 2 matches and then and Miz just delivering again this week. He was really good, and I felt like he got the crowd into Reigns. And he's also one thing I noticed about Reigns, he was more laid back, a little more cocky, and it felt a little bit more natural, and I liked it. I actually liked this Roman Reigns promo this week.
I liked his when it was like, go on, go to the back, get me a beer, boys.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, this is good. But he did say,
hold my beer.
He did say that working with John Cena has allowed him to become more comfortable with the old stick in his hand. So I gotta credit Cena for that, but credit Reigns for actually coming out and like. But one thing The Miz has done here, and this is the reason why it's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Intercontinental Champion of all time in my eyes, he's the first guy since Sheamus in 2000, at the end of 2015, to get people to actively get behind Roman in a segment.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I was going deaf or like cause I wasn't smoking anything, but I heard some pretty big pops for Reigns during the segment. Like when it was just like to the Miz when he was like, all right, let's run it.
No, definitely more than usual. You're right.
Yeah,
I felt that way too. Yeah, I thought that.
But I think I don't know if they're cheering more for Reigns or cheering more for the fact they know they're getting the Shield reunion.
Yeah, I think that could have something to do with it. Did you just say you hated the segment, Travis?
I hated it.
Really?
I can't. Yep. I'm not big on what this is. This cash grabby. Let's reunite the Shield for cheap views and shit.
I'm not big on that either, but I felt
it's not believable, and I don't think Roman. I don't like the line where he was like, I respect John now. What the fuck? What?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I feel like this is a giant time filler because Brock's gonna go away. This is the best they could come up with. Oh, really? That's brilliant. Shield reunion. I've said it at least before that I don't. These guys have established themselves at least at this point enough as singles where they shouldn't need this. But unfortunately, because business is so bad, they kind of have to, and I get that point. But I'm just not going to enjoy the ride, I guess. I'm going to be a negative Nancy for this.
Oh, God.
Salt everywhere.
Oh, no.
We got a different view.
What? The shining star, if anything, The Miz. He's always good.
Travis is channeling our buddy Jay Baca here with the wet blanket.
Well, what it is Miz is a great promo stuck in a shitty angle for me, is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Drew? What side of the fence are you on? Me and Robbie's side? Or are you on... Oof. Sounds like he's on Travis's side.
Yeah, yeah, I think I lean more that way for sure.
All right, well, at least I got youth on my side. Fuck you guys. Yeah. I got the only guy with the arms. Yes.
If it kicks off, you're fine.
He can compensate. He can compensate for my lack thereof.
You saw my guns dressed as a headbanger in that video.
That's
drop
true.
Peace channel.
That's true.
But I will say that. So the plan is that the Shield aren't just reunioning. Oh my God, the Shield aren't just reuniting to fight Miz Taraj. It's like Miz Taraj are a big stepping stone into something. So me being me, I just for some reason thought, all right, okay,
that's very self-aware of you.
We're gonna get the Shield versus Sanity, lads.
Really?
And then I just kind of after that thought, that's not gonna fucking happen, is it?
I'd love to see Joe return from injury with the Authors of Pain, and they be the ones that attack. That make the Shield have to reunite. I think that would be much more interesting.
That would be nice.
But
hey, I'm Bo Dallas, guys. Remember me? I used to suck, and I still do. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
How dare?
I'm really. I'd be really up for the Shield reuniting, but if it's just for Miz Taraj, I'm going to be really annoyed.
Yeah, me too. It doesn't feel like
it's substance reality at the end of the day. Look how they book Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. They're both talented in my eyes. I do like both guys, but they just
they are
shit for years.
I mean, there's a reason that returning superstars wrestle Curtis Axel.
Well, we're in the gender era, so anything's possible, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess we'll have to. My favorite line of this show. I guess we'll have to wait and see. That's my catchphrase. I need a T-shirt with that on it because I say it like 50 times a podcast.
I really want you to get that Daddy Trump shirt. By the way, I meant to say that.
God,
I just saw your Facebook post of that.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'll probably get it soon. I need it. I need that, and I need the Milo shirt where it says "Make America Fabulous Again."
Oh, shit.
I think that would go. I think that would go over pretty good.
I
in
want
my
that with
neighborhood.
Pat Patterson on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you
As
just,
a woman.
because it just says Milo instead of the MAGA, and then you would just replace it with Pat. That'd be great. Let's get somebody out there. Rocky Baya, I know you're listening to this. Drop that for Travis. A little Pat, and then Make America Fabulous Again. And then we'll make it for we'll put it on a T-shirt and we'll send it to him for his birthday. We'll all chip in $5 because we're really cheap. Even Travis, we'll make Travis chip in on his birthday present.
Hell, I'll chip in 10. I'll go above.
Oh
for
shit!
myself.
He's got people. It's his birthday.
And then he'll just be like, "Happy birthday to me."
At WrestleMania 34 because it's the same as my age.
Oh god. Up next, we
There
got.
are other freaking people like me.
Well, actually, WrestleMania has been on my birthday a couple times. That's always fucking cool. I always really like that.
See, our birthdays are really close. Aren't they?
Rumble's on mine
Yeah.
sometime. That's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. It's cool if a wrestling event falls on your birthday. Like last year, my birthday was on a Tuesday, so I watched a little SmackDown. Everybody was a little bit nicer with me, a little bit more tolerant of my trolling. They're like, it's his birthday. Let him be a cocksucker. You know, so
Let
it
him
was
marry
fun.
Becky. Hell, it's his day of birth.
People were tweeting me, "Fuck Becky Lynch," who normally like her. I was like, "Oh, guys, what a birthday present! You guys make me feel so
See,
special."
those are your real friends you want to keep. That'll do that for you.
Yeah, there you go. Then we had Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan versus part of the Miztourage, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Yeah, it wasn't anything great. I'm glad you said that. Then we had Elias sing for us, which is beautiful. Never gets to
I
finish the
fucking
song.
love Elias Sampson.
I do
He
too.
better sing if he's DLC. You can hear the nerd saying right now. On
Oh
Twitter.
God,
It's just I love how he just goes, "Hello, I am Elias," and I'm like, "This."
Like,
I
really?
love-
This is what we're going to do with Matt Hardy while Jeff is gone? Are you fucking kidding me?
I hope not.
I don't want to get
hope
really
not.
pissed off about it, but come on, man. It's right there in your face.
Yeah.
Just book it.
I
At
agree.
least do an off-brand broken thing, like word it differently. Do something
Do
with
woke.
singles.
He's woken instead of broken.
Woken, Matt.
Yeah.
Have him come out with a business suit like the Ring of Honor run he had. It's like a Flair ripoff. I don't
Oh
know.
God, where he made that parody of that girl who committed suicide there. What the fuck was her name?
Oh.
Oh, God, and he was like, people are mean to me on the internet. He kept having those like little handwritten signs. Oh, what was her name? Amanda Todd. That's it. Amanda Todd.
Trying
God.
to block things out in wrestling, and that's one of them.
No, I like that. I thought that was funny. Apollo Crews versus Elias. If you really need us to tell you who won, stop watching wrestling. Elias won. It was a nice, at least they didn't go for 50-50 booking. At least there was that. There was a post-match. Titus ran off Elias, kind of got into it. Charlie talks with Finn Balor. Nobody cares. Okay, we had Braun Strowman versus Kurt Hawkins. That was about 2 seconds.
That was fucking hilarious.
And then he threw him.
Braun Strowman's fast as fuck.
Yeah, he really is. And he threw him through the LED board, which I thought was pretty cool.
That was really
Yeah.
Then, okay, let's see. What else? Braun Strowman versus Dean Ambrose. And Dean Ambrose came out and got his ass kicked.
I enjoyed that.
I like the way that
I
Ambrose. I like the way. I'm gonna give him credit here, which is gonna kill me inside. But I like the way he came out, looked at the LED board, and was like, fuck it, I'll do it anyway." And just kind of went to the ring to get his ass kicked.
Yeah, that's the best thing about this match was when Ambrose first came out, I was like, oh, and then he turned around and just shrugged his shoulders. It was just like,
Well, I'm probably
Fuck
gonna get
it,
my
I've got-
ass kicked, but whatever.
just like
Two nights in a row, Ambrose had decent matches, or
Yep.
really good matches, I should say. Not
I agree.
decent.
Then we went backstage, and Seth Rollins was being his little, concerned boyfriend, like,
Oh, you gotta think of both of us now. We're a couple, and if you hurt, then I hurt because I love you, Dean.
You know all the claims we've heard over the last year and a half about Dean phoning it in. Do you think maybe he's picking up the pace a little bit? Maybe he had this in him the whole time, and he was phoning it in.
it could be.
Oh,
it
he
could
definitely
be.
phoned it.
Oh yeah, he definitely phoned it in. But I mean, it could be. Maybe reuniting with Rollins kind of gave him that kick in the ass, a breath of fresh air for him. He's enjoying what he's doing again, because he does seem to be a little bit more upbeat. Seems to be a little bit more into what he's doing right now. So I mean, he's been decent for the past two events that we saw, being No Mercy and Raw. So I thought that was all right.
It's not like he's not easily replaceable, and Raw is stacked with baby faces, so maybe he's a little sweating his job a little bit. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he does have a strap, so that's a good thing for him. He can relax. All right, up next we had Alexa Bliss, an Alexa Bliss promo. Yeah, talking about, she was just kind of bragging about how she beat 4 women and that she got no congratulations, no cute memes about her big win, which made me want to die. And I hate it when wrestlers bring in social media.
I hate it.
Basically, she claimed that she cleaned out the division, which prompted Mickie James to come down to the ring and have this really kind of sexual tension-filled promo back and forth, which I thought was nice. It was nice. Nikki specifically saying Mickey, sorry, not Nikki. I got Nikki Bella on the brain. Mickey specifically saying in a very sultry and sexy way that she is never, that Alexa Bliss has never beaten her, or she's like, you never beat me. I can't do it as well because I'm not a sexy lady, but it was nice. It was a nice little promo. I thought it was a nice showing for Mickie James. And I'm okay with them kind of. It's obviously a filler until Asuka gets here, but you know, whatever. It was fun. It was a decent women's segment.
It's nice when they just realize there's not just like when there's the title with the women. They're like, well, there's only 2 women in the division. We can't have any other storylines with the women. When they're good, it's okay, but when they're bad, they're bad.
They're really bad. Yeah.
I wish they did it like. I wish they stopped doing multi-women matches.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm not a
fan
of
There's speculation there's going to be a women's rumble. I just saw on
do
the
not
news.
Do not want at all.
Don't mind that so long as
put it on the
they
pre-show.
Do it like the men's rumble and throw a couple of surprises in there.
Put it on put it on the pre-show and watch Twitter kill itself, claiming sexism and all that shit. Do that.
Oh my Christ!
I would love that.
Okay, so we said it over the women's match, like going onto the main card, and that they had it on the main card, and it wasn't a great match. But like, for instance, and this is obviously like
at Mania, yeah, it was fucking garbage that match.
Yeah, so like, but just imagine if you had like a return in Trish Stratus and Asuka's in there, and Kairi Sane's in there.
If they brought some women from the Mae Young Classic,
Jazzy Gabus and Candice Flores.
Bring my big German broad into the ring and have her clear that fucker.
Yeah, then I think that could more than justify it. Like if it's the what do they call it? The like the blow off match, like the match before the main event. PPVs. Like if you have that and then have like loads of talking point women going there, then great stuff. But if it's just like
it's the roster that they have and a couple of NXT women thrown in.
Please, Storm.
Toni
Storm is the best women's wrestler in the world right now, and the fact that I get why she didn't sign. She's making a shitload of money, but my God, I'd love to see her pop up in that.
That's a hot take.
Oh,
it's a hot take.
So good though.
But I don't even know who she is, to be honest.
She's the chick with the little Motley Crue hat and the main.
Oh, okay.
She had the wall paint kind of ish.
Right.
But like, if you can you imagine if you had your first women's rumble and your last entrant was Dana Brooke.
Oh God. Oh God.
She does a little run down to the ring.
She can't run down. She'll knock her. She can't run. She can't run down. She'll knock herself the fuck out.
Karen Jarrett pops up
because she has Karen Jarrett beats the shit out of Braun Strowman.
Bring out Dana Warrior, lads.
No, Braun runs down and just slams her and goes to the women and goes, "You want her? Have at her!"
like he did with Enzo, foreshadowing here to the main event. Seth Rollins versus Sheamus. Whatever. It was all right. It was decent. It was an enjoyable little sprint, but it was all right. Finn Balor walks. Oh God, he talks to Goldust backstage. They have a lover's spat for reasons I didn't really ever comprehend. Goldust saying he was being made a victim, but if he was smart, he would have embraced being a victim because people make a living off being a victim in 2017. So I didn't really understand why Goldust was so upset. You know, if he was a victim, he could have gotten all kinds of privileges. I mean, speaking as a white male, speaking of white male, as a white male, I know exactly what privilege is all about. You know,
it's because we're inherently racist.
Exactly.
All 4 of us.
Oh, of course. Well, I know me and Travis definitely are. We were told on Twitter this week that we were racist, so that must be true. Yeah. So, moving along.
I wasn't. I was just saying I saw the Antifa going at each other members. The one girl was,
God. You're inherently racist. You're white.
I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, I thought that girl who was claiming racism between the Naomi and Lana thing called you a racist. because she called me a racist.
No, she didn't. No, I just stood up for you. I was like, I saw what she was calling you, and I was just like, I called her out on the comedian thing, and then she just blocked me instantly. She never responded to me. And then
what did she call me? Because I know when somebody brings up identity politics and like they're clearly like against white people.
I don't think she flat out called you a racist. It was pretty much like no one had a problem with gender and the Nakamura thing, but now because it's white or what, she never said it, but you knew where she was.
Yeah, of course. She was a race baiter. They're all race baiters. They just like finding problems where there aren't any. But
it's either that or they're totally misinformed and they misinterpret.
Yeah, exactly. Or they just believe that wrestling is real, like idiots. And they don't realize that it's a TV show and that there's a good guy and there's a bad guy and the bad guy is going to talk some shit to the good guy and the good guy is going to talk shit back. It doesn't mean they're probably
still around me, damn it.
People need to know they need to know their goddamn wrestling like sexual napalm over here.
There you go. There you go. No, not everybody can be sexual napalm. Not everybody. Not everybody can handle that heat. We have our next. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Things are getting out of hand here, boys. Up next, we had the Miz versus Roman Reigns.
It's good.
Yeah, it was all.
It was a good TV match.
Yeah. I just don't like Reigns beating the Intercontinental Champion, but what happened after the match made complete sense, so I can't hate on it too much. Post-match, the Miztourage attacked Roman Reigns, but Reigns started to make a comeback and cleared them out. Dallas returned with a chair, and Axel has one as well, and they beat Reigns down significantly. Miz lays him out with a skull-crushing finale, and he leaves the ring. Now, as they're going up the ramp, they look back, and they're like, you know what? We're not done here. So they return to the ring, a couple more chair shots, and they finish it off with the Miz hitting a skull-crushing finale on the chair, and they do the Shield fist bump. Beautiful. I love this segment.
And 3 months earlier, Brock Lesnar laid out the entire Miztourage by himself, and he's 10 years older than Roman, and we're supposed to believe this. Yeah, I don't know.
I get that. Luckily, I forget everything the second I see it, so I didn't remember that. So to me, this was an awesome segment. I can understand how wrestling Rain Man over here, who never fucking forgets anything.
It's Axel, definitely Axel, Curtis Axel.
But I just thought this was a really smart thing because you got Reigns to win, so Reigns went over. You got what you wanted, but the Miz wasn't castrated again. He got his heat back, which is something that they haven't been doing with the Miz. So I'm glad he got his heat back.
At least they used weapons. That was good.
Exactly.
They gave chairs to do it, at least.
Exactly. I thought it was a cool, kind of cool way to end this segment. I thought it was a great way.
Bo was swinging for the fences too, by the way. God damn.
Yeah.
I like how they beat him with the chair in the same way that Rollins beat him with the chair when the Shield split, and that he stood over him and like.
Well, that's the only place you're allowed to hit a guy now is the back anyway. So.
Yeah, but it's like, when they do, like, they ram the chair into the stomach of the guy, kind of thing.
Yeah.
When they stood over. I do fucking hate that. When
they cover it up with their hand too, it makes it even worse to make it look safe.
But do you know when they're like on all fours and they're watching the guy hit them with the chair? Like they're watching the guy hit themselves with the chair.
Yeah.
Like when they go into all, because you know what's going to happen is they're going to double them over by hitting them in the stomach, hit him on the back, and when they're on all fours, hit him again. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake! I'm not asking for an unprotected chair shot. I'm just asking for something that's just
for the world. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not asking for like a fucking New Jack, like a Sabu fucking chair shot. I'm just asking for something different.
Yeah,
a little different.
There's nothing wrong with a little variety in life. Then we go to the Goldust and Balor match. Well, whatever. Sasha Banks and Bayley met up backstage, and there was kind of like a little bit of heel tension, but they agreed by the end to just suck it up and work together, which led us to Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Emma, where they picked up the win. Sasha Banks and Bayley, that is. I really don't have anything to say about this match. Bayley was in it, so I couldn't care less. And I just want to get to the main event, which was Enzo's championship celebration. He came out, started bragging, called some of the cruiserweights names, fat shamed them, body shamed them, all that kind of shit. Claimed he's a star and that they don't sell as much as merch as he does, which is probably the truth. And he kind of talked shit for a while, and then Neville came out and absolutely beat the shit out of Enzo.
He stayed up all night doing it meth. by the way. He looked insane.
Yes, he did. It was great. And there was the stipulation, Enzo, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this, but before this segment, Enzo was backstage with Kurt Angle and demanded where no one could put their hands on him, and if they did, they would lose their shot at the title. So Enzo was kind of taunting Neville, holding the belt up in the air, saying that if you have this, if you attack me, you'll never have this again. And Neville had this "fuck it, I don't care" moment, threw him into a Enzo had this jersey that he put behind a frame and glass. Enzo and Neville threw him through that. Kind of a couple super kicks, and then he hit a red arrow. So are we seeing a switch here?
Tuna Meltzer and Alvarez came out this week. I listened to it. They said that they're turning Enzo heel as a punishment because they want to hurt his merch sales, which they're booking him as a tweener for one, and I call bullshit on that because why are you taking from your own pocket?
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense to me. That sounds kind of sounds
so
like
Meltzer. I'm calling your bluff this time.
That sounds like Tuna Meltzer had a little drink before the show. And he was like, I'm just going to say whatever I feel like saying.
His fucking Pancrase t-shirt that he likes to tweet out all the time.
Oh,
Christ.
So that was
that
was Monday Night Raw. Now, there was more after the show went off air, which I didn't really get. Why did they didn't just leave it on TV? Because it was the best part where Braun Strowman eventually came down to the ring for some reason because he just wants to beat people up. And he beat the shit out of Enzo. And my favorite part was that he turned around, looked at the entire division, and just went, he's all yours. At which point, the entire cruiserweight division attacked Enzo, each hitting either a finisher or a very significant move. Because I don't know all the guys' move sets.
Real quick, since I'm the one that usually yells, can I do the best part of this that we talked about real quick?
The Drew Gulak?
Drew Gulak.
Go
he
ahead.
Went there.
It was my favorite part.
He's been anti-flying. He goes over to Mustafa Ali. He teased it. It seemed like forever. It was beautifully timed. He goes, okay, get up there, and the crowd popped. It was beautiful.
I love that part. I legit popped for that. I thought that was great.
I like the way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Travis? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh no, the airplane spin by Kendrick.
Oh,
sorry,
right,
Robbie.
Yeah. Pop for that, lads.
Yeah, that was good.
Pop for that.
I thought that was a really good way to end Monday Night Raw, and it was interesting to see the cruiserweights close it out, which doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
So this was a
It might have been a first, right?
Yeah,
interesting how they did all like faces and heels mixed, like kind of like a Nexus thing. Even though I don't know, the Nexus sucked in the end. Hopefully,
that's true.
Like it went back to normal in 205. Like all the guys had rivalries again. But I like this Neville anti-hero standing up for the Vision thing. It's interesting.
Yeah, I like.
It's like an anti-hero. Yeah.
It's about time they had a captivating goddamn storyline on that show because those guys are way too talented and deserve a lot better than what they've had for the past couple months. A lot of them. Some of them are just awful.
I completely.
Is kind of shit. Let's be real.
Yeah, really? Because I kind of liked him at the beginning. I don't know. I've only seen him wrestle a couple times on Raw, so I don't have a strong opinion.
They go through weird stages of getting different guys over at different times. It's kind of like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Right. That always works.
But you don't do that off the bat with a brand new show. You want to get eyes on. You don't want to be like, let's just throw mediocrity out there. We know it's mediocre with this Jack Gallagher as a clown Photoshop on the Titantron and all that bullshit. But man.
God, they really love putting pictures of wrestlers up on the Titantron, don't they?
I do love Gulak's slideshow, though. I do get a kick out of that.
Yeah. I like how he came out with, instead of no fly zone this week on 205, he came out with a no chance, which obviously got the crowd into it.
Did he really? That's hilarious.
You could mix, and you say all the time, Robbie, mix these guys in the main roster. And I love how they're changing that, not just flying chance. They could mix him onto the main roster with bigger guys, with other things, or you know what I mean?
Because he can out-wrestle the majority of the guys on the main roster.
Oh, hell yes, he can.
He's Gulak. No, he's boring. No, he's traditional, and he uses psychology more. He's not
chicken shit to a chicken salad.
Just chicken shit down to a T. He does play that part well.
Like I hope they do with this. I don't know what to say I hope, because it's been running for over a year now. It's still shit. But do you know how the UK Championship had it was a championship in its own right, and it was a tournament, but it still had the underlying storyline, like the underrunning storyline of Pete Dunne versus William Regal. Like after Dunne beat up Gradwell on the first night. They kind of I wish they did it like Evolve. That's what I'm gonna say. Without the dodgy emails and actually paying the talent. I just wish because you don't necessarily. I would much rather them do this ranked system of you have to win this guy to become number one contender instead of doing these stupid fucking storylines. Like, I don't mind them doing WWE-esque storylines, so long as it doesn't make these like batch of talent just look like complete dweebs. Like, right. Do you know when they ran the storyline? I'm sure they ran a story like it would be 205 Live-esque to run a storyline over who stole Jack Gallagher's umbrella.
Flat out, every storyline they've ever tried to do since the show started has utterly been pretty much shit, except for maybe all Aries and Neville, but they never pulled the trigger on Aries, so there was no payoff in that. So this is finally something that's captivating, at least for now.
Aries is the big deal coming from NXT to 205. Like, these guys just went into 205 straight away, but like the big deal was outside of Neville, you had Aries that was coming up from 205. I was like, fuck it, I'll go chase Neville. And he lost. And, like, the one guy that beat Neville, the one guy that, well, I mean, Tozawa won, but, like, the one guy that shocked the world by beating Neville was Enzo.
Yeah.
Man, are they trying to make us forget Tozawa won that, by the way.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, well, that was Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to... Jesus, a little racism there to end the show. We're just going to take a quick break to recover from Robbie's racism, and we'll be right back with our SmackDown recap.
This is Marking Out.
Hello, it's Brandon
and Dave,
and we do a weekly pro wrestling podcast called Marking Out.
And you can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and markingout.com.
You guys are awesome.
As always.
And we're back. We're here to talk about SmackDown, but honestly, it was a pretty shitty show, so we're going to blow the fuck through this, boys. Baron Corbin defeated Ty Dillinger at 5 minutes and 58 seconds via countout. The Usos defeated the Hype Bros at 2 minutes and 20 seconds via pinfall. Charlotte defeated Carmella at 6 minutes 59 seconds via pinfall. Kevin Owens defeated Sami Zayn at 9 minutes and 7 seconds via referee stoppage. Kevin Owens was here to open the show, and it was great, because it was Kevin Owens. It wasn't that great, actually. It was good. I like his promo. I like the the build to Hell in a Cell, and then Sami Zayn arrived, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, are we going to see them wrestle again? Yep. So that's basically what it was. Basically here just to set up the match for later in the evening. Baron Corbin versus Ty Dillinger. No real story here. It was okay. I'm warming up to Dillinger a little bit more. The real story here is at the end of the match, Baron Corbin challenged AJ Styles to a United States Championship match at Hell in a Cell, which we found out later in the show that AJ accepted. Cool. Then we had Jinder's weekly dose of racism and putting pictures, well, it wasn't that racist this week, putting pictures of Nakamura up onto the Titantron. And it was funny because when this segment started, I would be like, wouldn't it be funny if one of the pictures was just him standing still? And fuck me, they actually did it.
Oh, like the thing with Sting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm so sick of this. I think this feud is hurting Nakamura. They have zero chemistry. And
he's a geek.
He is, completely. The Usos versus the Hype Bros, it was 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Who cares?
It was more of an angle.
Yeah, this was basically to kind of set up the breaking up of Mojo and Ryder, as well as the announcement that the Usos versus the New Day will be inside a Hell in a Cell.
I'm excited for that.
I think that's awesome. Legitimately a feud that should be ended in Hell in a Cell.
I agree.
Rather than it just be a token.
I agree, because these guys have been having such consistently good matches, and now you're going to put them inside Hell in a Cell, which could bring out all kinds of different possibilities. So, I'm really looking forward to that as well.
I mean, after that feud, where do you go, though?
Well, we can't worry about that, Drew. As I always say, we'll just have to wait and see.
My God, pal, live in the now. Don't worry about tomorrow.
Yeah, WWE. Trust me, Drew. WWE doesn't know what they're going to do after Hell in a Cell, so just don't worry about it.
Shining Stars.
Oh, yeah, the Shining Stars. Okay. Then we had Rusev. We celebrated Rusev Day because he's the pride of Bulgaria, and it was a national celebration. It was stupid. Aiden English got to sing a song, which was nice. They had apparently the mayor of Bulgaria
It's just definitely some guy off the street.
Yeah, definitely. But in kayfabe, we had the mayor. Then he presented Rusev with the ugliest key to the city I've ever fucking seen. I've seen chocolate keys that look better than what he got. It just looked like a piece of cardboard that they half-assed. Like they went to see Goldust. They're like, here, pass me some of your face paint, bro. And they just smeared it all over this piece of cardboard.
Like, do you know when you get them like unlockable keys in like really old school video games?
Yes. It looks like a key from Zelda.
Yeah.
And at the end, Orton ruined everything by hitting RKOs. So that was fun. Brian met up with Sami Zayn backstage, and he says that Shane is on his way and he'll be coming after Owen. And then Sami asks that Brian asked Shane not to get involved and let him have him tonight because, you know, that's never happened before. Charlotte versus Carmella, I didn't watch because I couldn't care less about either of them. Until
the thumbnail clip of that match on YouTube, it was her split-legged with camel toe everywhere. It was a big boot that they stopped the thumbnail on.
It was I like
better than the match.
So we have definitive proof now that Charlotte Flair is actually female. All right, cool. All right. Or at least or she's in a transition and went through with the surgery. Either that, you know.
I'd marry Charlotte Flair either way, to be honest, lads.
The Fashion Files returns next week, which was the highlight of SmackDown. Then we had Dolph Ziggler coming out as the Undertaker, which surprised nobody. Bobby Roode came out.
Oh yeah, the crowd went fucking nuts. I think the crowd.
The crowd thought some of the crowd really thought that he was there, and I was laughing because you could tell as soon as he came out. I'm like, "That's not him. That's Ziggler." As soon as I heard, the Undertaker's music, I was like, "Holy shit, Ziggler's going to do the Undertaker." So Bobby Roode comes out, and it looks like they're going into a feud. They'll have a match at Hell in a Cell, and it will be glorious. And finally, it brings us to our main event. Holy shit! I think we did the entire show in 4 minutes. It's 5 minutes. We're coming up on 5 minutes. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Setting records.
Look, listen. We've seen it so many fucking times. I love both these guys. I love both of them. They're both hometown boys.
It's just the only above average match that Kevin Owens can wrestle in WWE.
It's just, I don't know. I don't care. I didn't care. I did like the powerbomb on the, sorry, the powerbomb on the ring apron. We've seen it a bunch of times, but the way that Sami Zayn sold it, it looked really brutal. It looked really brutal. It was the best thing on the show, though. I'll have to say that. Besides the announcement that the Fashion Files were returning, after the match is more interesting. Owens then starts attacking Sami Zayn mercilessly, grabs a chair, wraps it around Sami's head, but Shane O'Mac arrives, and Owens, this is my favorite part, Owens launches Sami Zayn chair around the neck and all into Shane McMahon, and he hits Shane in the face with the chair as Owens runs away. And you want to say that Braun is, look, listen, you guys want to tweet me and say Kevin Owens is fat? Did you see the way he moved?
It's like one of them, like, those like candy floss sellers stood at the top of the stairs. And like,
is that what you call cotton
instead
candy?
Of running? Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of like running the actual angle, Kevin Owens
like Kinder eggs.
Kevin Owens just grabs a cotton candy and starts eating.
I think he could get it over, lads. Kevin for candy.
And that was SmackDown Live, like we said. We recapped it, and I'm just gonna check my OBS. In 7 minutes, we recapped SmackDown, and that's pretty much more time than we should have spent. So we're just going to end this. So I'm sorry, the reviews were a little bit quicker than usual this week. Completely my fault. I'm a little bit under a time crunch right now, so I just wanted to get this out so you guys could hear it. And we had all 4 guys ready today. So we made it to the end of another show. It's our favorite part of the show. It's my personal favorite part of the show. It's where we get to whore each other out. So who wants to start? Let's go with Robbie. Let's go with youth first. Where can we find you on the internet, Robert? What do you do there?
You can find me on www.kayfabetoday.com, where you can normally find me doing the Raw review. However, I didn't do the Raw review this week, and I have to apologise, and it's genuinely because I fell asleep and missed 2 out of the 3 hours.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I'm really tired lately. But yeah, no. Normally you can find me doing reviews and certain like opinion pieces, and you can also, of course, find me here on the Kayfabe Today podcast. I have one thing and one thing only to plug this week. No, sorry, I have 2 things to plug this week. I'm going to plug Strong Style first because I believe coming up the second or the latter plug will be more important. I'm going to plug Strong Style brand.
Here, come.
Drew's standing at full attention right now.
You better believe it.
It's not the lotion.
There's no kneeling during this promo.
Yeah.
If you want to go to a show, stand by the ring, wrestle in the ring, look at the ring, go shopping for a ring, have a couple onion rings, hit the gym, lounge around, lie down, bring the pain here on main event WrestleMania.
Mania.
Blade till dry or complain online. Looking at you, DLC twats. Strong Style brand clothing has you covered for every activity or sporting situation that you may find yourself in. Remember, and the key line, not the key line, the key line. If you smell what Strong Style is threading, then give me a hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. And fuck the Revival. And I would also like to plug Wrestle Travel, which is a fantastic company.
Is this your new show that me and Travis told you about, where you should go around the world and get into arguments with wrestling fans in airports?
Yes.
No, that is being made, though. That is being highly spoken about.
This is called Cops.
No, Wrestle Travel. I'm going to explain more about it when we have, or may have, a very, very famous guest on next week, which I'll let you guys know more about. If you guys don't already know, a certain Lee will be hitting the show. But I'll be looking forward to that. But yeah, keep your eyes open for that one, because it's making big waves at the minute. It's sponsoring some huge wrestling shows, so it'll be coming your way for the rest of 2017, and 2018 is going to be an even bigger year for the company. So keep your eyes open.
All right. Sounds good. Drew, you're next.
I can't make it rhyme really fast, so it's kind of disappointing. But at Drew Ortman on the Twitter. Kayfabetoday.com. Got a new one, the PW Journal on Instagram. That should be entertaining. And
oh, that's you. Okay, because you followed me. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just because you're beautiful. Thank you.
Love those Instagram posts.
Beautiful broski eating. Look at that.
That's where you goddamn right. Drew, we already did Drew. Travis.
Oh, man, I'm all over the place.
Let the people know. Lord. Let the people know.
You can, as always, check me out on Twitter at @TheHibikitMD. Check me out right here on Kayfabe Today. The reset button on HibikitMD on YouTube with Slam Pigs Podcast. Gaming and wrestling is our bag if you're into that. The Man of No Equal. Forget about the sequels, broski. Thank you for having me, bud.
Well, no, you don't have to.
I'm into that.
You're part of this show. You don't have to thank me anymore. You had to thank me when you were a guest, but you're not a guest anymore. You're just another slob.
He has to thank you now.
Yeah,
I'm a gentleman and a scholar.
Fair enough.
Hello, I am Elias. Sorry.
And I would promote the recent videos I put out, but I haven't put out any. So give me your money at prowrestlingtees.com/FTITM, and you get something in return. Or what I prefer, just straight up giving me your money at patreon.com/FTITM. That's all I got this week, boys. So for Drew, Robbie, Travis, and myself, this has been the Kayfabe Today motherfucking podcast. If you take a knee, you're a fucking bitch.
I'll take some knees.
What did you think? What did you think of this week's show, Naya?
Oh, baby, I'll take knees all night for it.
Oh, for fuck's sake! We'll see you next week, guys.